One day, as John was driving home after a long, exhausting day at work, he noticed an elderly man on the side of the road, hunched over and struggling to carry a heavy, tattered bag. The man's frail figure and the weight of the bag seemed mismatched, as if the burden was too much for him to bear. Something about the scene tugged at John's heart, stirring a deep sense of compassion he hadn't felt in years. Without a second thought, he pulled over and offered the old man a ride. The old man, his face weathered with age and eyes clouded with what seemed like years of unspoken pain, accepted the offer silently. He climbed into the car, clutching the bag tightly to his chest as if it held something irreplaceable. John tried to make small talk, but the old man remained quiet, only muttering the name of his destination in a hoarse, trembling voice. The air in the car grew heavy with an unspoken tension, and John couldn't shake the feeling that there was something deeply sorrowful about this man. When they arrived at the destination, the old man stepped out of the car without a word of thanks or even a glance back. He simply hurried away, his figure disappearing into the dimly lit streets. John sat there for a moment, feeling a mix of confusion and disappointment. He had expected at least a nod or a smile, but instead he was left with an eerie silence and a strange sense of emptiness. As he was about to drive away, John noticed the old man's bag still sitting in the back seat. His heart sank. He grabbed the bag and rushed out of the car, calling out for the old man. But the streets were empty. The man had vanished, as if he had never been there. John's chest tightened with a strange mix of guilt and curiosity. He knew he had to return the bag, but how? Back in his car, John hesitated before opening the bag. He hoped to find some clue, a name, an address, anything that could help him locate the old man. But as he unzipped the bag, his hands trembled. Inside, he found a stack of old, yellowed letters tied together with a frayed ribbon and a faded photograph. His breath caught in his throat as he picked up the photo. It was a picture of his own family, his parents, his siblings, and himself as a young boy. But there was someone else in the photo, someone he didn't recognize at first. A younger version of the old man he had just helped. Tears welled up in John's eyes as the realization hit him like a tidal wave. The old man was his grandfather, a man he had never known, a man who had disappeared from his life decades ago. The letters addressed to John's father were filled with apologies, regrets, and longing. Each word was a cry for forgiveness, a plea to reconnect with the family he had lost. John's hands shook as he read through them, his heart breaking with every sentence. Overwhelmed with emotion, John slumped back in his seat, clutching the photograph to his chest. He felt a flood of emotions, anger, sadness, but most of all, an aching sense of loss. How could this have happened? How could his grandfather have been so close, yet so far away? And why hadn't he said anything? The questions swirled in his mind, but one thing was clear. This discovery had changed everything. That night, John couldn't sleep. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, his mind racing with thoughts of his grandfather and the years they had lost. He felt a deep, unshakable longing to find him, to hear his story, and to finally understand the truth about his family's past. The next morning, John made a decision. He would embark on a journey, not just to find his grandfather, but to reconnect with his roots and heal the wounds that had been left open for far too long.